Alright, we're gonna do something I haven't done in a while. We're gonna do a pack opening video. Now, the funny thing about the new decks is, well, no, it's not the funny thing, but the thing about the new decks for the bots is they make them not work. And the reason that is because what the bot will do is it will look at the URL of a card source. So it'll, for instance, see this card is Bitebug, and it will look up 1335 in its database. Or it will look up Bitebug in its database, and it will see that's a 1335, and it will translate that into a card. So when you see the new cards, it'll see Quang, and it'll have no idea what that means, and it thus plays disastrously. I just accidentally put this bot into a game that included that, and it completely collapsed because when it selects a game, now this isn't the rule set, but when it selects a game, I think it does all for deck options. I'm not sure. Um, but it does something that ended up including it, and I'm not sure how to adjust this. So what I'm going to have to do is after we buy these packs, I'm going to have to go get rid of some of the unlocks. I just bought the last unlock to do this pack buying. All right, we've got a cat making noise. So I'm going to have to get rid of... No, please don't run over the computer. So I'm going to have to get rid of at least one of these to make sure it doesn't accidentally do this again. But for now, we have gone through this ordeal to get all the unlocks, and now we can buy Eiyuden Chronicles, a game I am not aware of, or Chronicle, I guess. But let's buy some packs. I don't know how much we'll spend, maybe like 10, 20k or something, see how we do. And let's just think about cards. So 5858, that's going to be a level 8, right? 8585 actually was a critical card in a tournament game I won, so I have a soft spot for it. One of the very few old games we have records of, thanks to a vid occult fan article. My win over MC in the Rufus finals was with 8585, but that was a multi-level game. 5858 tends to be pretty terrible. 7642 is definitely a very good level 4. 8218 is certainly a useful level 6. 4743 is a useful level 3 or 4, though not as good on 4. And 7313 is a totally reasonable level 2. Man, these numbers look weird to me. I'm so used to, like, if I see, like, 7313 or something written, I'm like, I don't think that's a card. I think 1373 is a card. Years of training. All right, let's buy another one. Okay, another 7642. Now, 5636 is presumably a level 4, but I know they're running low on possible level 5 combinations. There just aren't that many left. Level 5, because if you think about the levels, so level 9 and 10, excluding rares, have a maximum power of 10. And level 8 is the only one with a maximum power of 9. So level 8 has a lot of room to explore. Level 6 and 7 have a maximum power of 8. And level 2 through 5 have a maximum power of 7. And that means by far the most cards are in the max 7 range. And within that range, level 5 is pretty tight restrictions on what a card can do. So we saw with Mystic Quest a 5636 at level 5, which is kind of ridiculous, but also kind of completely fine because level 5 is going to run out of space otherwise for new inclusions. So I think Mystic Quest is kind of a silly deck, but also I'm guessing this is a level 4 card, the 5636. But we have seen this printed at level 5, and I'm okay with that. I complain a lot, but I'm okay with that. Let's see some more cards. I really never looked at these, so. All right, 946A draws my attention. Does that have a natural pairing? I don't think so, but it gives an alternative in the Una spot. I talk about this a lot when opening packs, but I like to think about what I think of as wheel cards for spear cards. So a wheel card would be something like 469A, where as you go around from the lowest to the highest number, each number gets highest. Well, a spear card I think of as like the biggest number has the two next biggest numbers next to it, and the weakest number facing the opposite way. And I think a lot of times I think spear cards are better. Like, for instance, 8646 counts as a wheel, as a spear, and 8664 counts as a wheel, and the spear version gets used a lot more. I have no idea on A964s. I think I prefer the wheel version, but I don't know, and I like seeing more spears printed because it's a nice way to think about it. 7632s, as we see on the left, is also an interesting card for that. Do you want it to be 3762 like this, or 2763? My inkling is also wheel for that, but I'm not sure either. Yeah, really not sure. Another 8876 printed. So we have Satan for 1, and we have Lorana for 9, and this gives 1 for 7. Is there 1 for 3? I don't think so. Maybe there is now, but I don't think so. Alright, some interesting cards. Sorry if all you wanted was quick opening and I'm going slowly, but alright, so we see another 946A. 47A7 is a fun card type. I like A774s. 6A67. God, that looks so wrong to me because Kyros goes the other way and there's not supposed to be a pair. But interesting to see a pair with Kyros. I think A766s are kind of underrated and really good cards. Kyros fits famously well with Squall Cipher, but this would fit equally well, and it's possible it's a better fit with other cards. If you think of like Squall Cipher Kyros is one of the most kind of standard, historical, and just effective ways to build. I should make sure the bots are still running because I haven't checked in on them while we've been talking. Okay, it looks like we did have a crash. Oh, crashed way too long ago. Oops. That's a shame. But this way, yeah, it does click all decks. So because I had this unlocked, it created problems. Oops. Just gonna make sure everything else is running. Sorry, scattered video. Okay, looks like everything's working. 9358, I like the shark. I like 98. They're just nice cards. Yeah, but I'm most intrigued by the Kyros alternative here. Because Kyros, the double sixes plays well with the top and bottom side of Squall Cipher, and the 6-7 part plays really well with the sideways 9s. I wonder, because I made a hand I quite like is double Yuna, Ramses Hugo, and I think I have a 6886 closing it out. You could now do that with Squall Cipher, where you could run both this and Kyros. I'm not sure that's the best way to do it, but it's an interesting idea. 6689, I'm so glad that's a real card now, because every time I see 6698, my brain converts it to 6689. Maybe this is a bad thing for me. Maybe this means I'll start converting it even worse. 1135 is pretty weak at level 1. There is 3135. Now, it's certainly fine to be weak. Level 1 actually has a pretty wide range of numbers available, which makes it sort of interesting for randoms, though very easy to get completely screwed on. 3455, I guess that would be a level 3. Kind of like that. Okay. Yeah, I like the art on the 6255. Faces like that are always kind of fun. A846. The even number cards with a 8 and 6 on them, like A862. Piggyman did an article about pairing 28A6 and 26A8, and that can make for a fun combo if the box crashed again. No, just running slow because I'm recording, but that's probably going to lead to a crash. Let's take down one of the bots. See if that runs a little smoother. Sorry for the incompetence of my videoing. But yeah, that did crash this bot. I think it's, while I'm recording, it's not capable of running kind of higher level thinking bots. So I'm gonna wait and see if this one crashes. Then I'll come back to pack opening, or we can look at this. Yeah, I think A846 type cards are interesting. 8494s, those kind of strong horizontal verticals with an 8 and a 9 on them at level 8, they play better than I expect them to. It's a card I'm always a little skeptical of, but I don't really mind having in my hand. Alright, Shadow Jack keeps crashing. So I'm going to pause the recording for a sec and let it make a move while it's not fighting with this. Okay, and we're sort of back. It just crashed again, but hopefully it'll run now. Okay, what do we got? An 8-8 corner, 6-2-9A. 6-2s always play interestingly on level 9s. And level 10s as well. This is probably level 10. Could be printed, I think, at either, but okay. Let's speed through some pack openings. I like 7-6-5-4s. Level 5 has some very powerful cards, so you don't end up getting to run it much, but when you do, 7-6-5-4s are pretty dynamic and fun to play with. Maybe the most, interesting to play with cards on level 5. They're just kind of outshone. My favorite A934 is, of course, 4A93, right? Sergeant Joe, yeah. Packs. 8189. 988s play really well on level 9. We've had a lot of tournament level 9 sets. Oh god, is it crashing again? It's crashing again. Right. This was a bad idea. One sec. Man, I am very good at video making. This is going ideally. 775 is interesting. I think that's a good direction for level 5 to go. It's, I think, been done occasionally before. It seems very powerful, but it doesn't actually play all that well against other level 5s. You'd rather a 774. So I think it's a good direction to find new number combos. And you can't really push to 7752. That's just too high numbers, I think. But 7751 is a smart way to extend level 5. And I like 898s. Yeah, I was saying they play well in recent level 9 tournaments because a lot of level 9 tournaments have had no using A's. It's just been a weirdly frequent tournament rule set. And okay, another 8764. This pairs with there's the classic Silver Dragon and Harloot, I want to say pairing. But this gives there's also 4678, so this is a natural pair as well. So this gives an alternative to that pair that plays very similarly. That's interesting to see. I think I would have preferred the second 8764 pair to be a pair going up down rather, or the second wheel pair of 8764s to be up down rather than another that's side to side. But nonetheless, this is interesting to see. And it's possible what I'm saying has already been done and I just missed it. Hey, the bot didn't crash again. I'm going to tell it to pause after this game, though. Oh no, it did crash. But it made a move first. Wait, what are you doing? Hopefully that was reasonable instructions. No, it just exploded again. Jesus. Right, I'm gonna, yeah, make a really good video here. 3335. Okay, 6-1. Yeah. 7678s are always fun to play with, like something that's not overpowered but does have a lot of dynamic potential. All right. What are the rares? I won't even know if we see them possibly, but I probably will. Like it probably will be like, oh, hey, what's a 9 doing with such low numbers? All right, another of the 7846, 4626. I like the 66 XY cards. 7541s always play really well on level 3 once 6/6s are banned. So it's neat to see more of those just because they give more optionality within that. Never loved A764s. This is not saying like they shouldn't be printed, it's just saying like I don't handle them very well, or I don't think they're particularly strong, but they are an option. Don't think 7247. That's another level 5. Sure, more 7/7 corners at level 5. That gives an op. I think movers is in the same corner, so that gives an option against that. Triple numbers always have interesting stuff. I think 2666. This was used in the Stuff Akiyama match, and Akiyama stole a tie with it in a game that was very dangerous. And we are struggling. What a great video. You're welcome, everyone watching. Going great. Definitely should try to have 6 things running at once. Very smart of me. 763A, sure. Still like the A846. I think it's. Yeah, I was trying to say earlier, these cards that hit these even numbers and basically only have play against even numbers. Okay. We've closed, I think, most. We've closed the bots that are going to be crashing. Still have one left up I need to take care of. But, okay. All right. Let's make up for me being slow and open some fast. Bunch of low levels, some of which we hadn't seen before. Some more low levels we hadn't seen, like 2721. 7262. I like 2627 has always played well. That's a good card. 5368s are fun. Like, there's the Ultros pairing that's always neat to use. I've been seeing this 8189 a lot. 7818 I think we haven't seen yet. The 787 types, like 8287, they're okay. They play okay. 4882 and 7537 are new to us. 7537 is one of those cards that plays better on multi-level sets than on its own level. Sometimes. Often. Another triple number. One, 7, 4, 8. 5A656 is a very weak card, I think. Kind of weird. The A565s, like, they have a little play, but not much. And then A676 has so much play. You wonder if, like, there's some pairing with the 5A656, if there's a level 9 pairing that can sort of do Squall Cipher things. Like, if there's like an A259, which I think there is, and say a 59A2 or something similar than that, could you have this card performing Kuros duty? I have no idea. But these cards never play nearly as well as Kuros does, or like Ramses. And I wonder if there's a way to get that working, if you could do some cool stuff on level 9 with it. Because it's close to having those kind of Squall Cipher type synergies if you could fit it correctly. Here we see the reverse Kuros again and the 6689 again. 1644 I think is the only card we haven't seen yet. 6398 is a good level 8. It's a very good level 8. I think that's the same corner as the 6298 from FFT. There aren't that many 9863s. There's like 8369. I think there's one for 1. I'm not sure if there's one for 7. Might have been interesting to have that card in 7. As a corner for 7 rather than a corner for 3, but not a big deal. Now we see it again. 3687, those always have some play, sure. Let's check if I have to rerun any bots. Next time I do this, when I start opening like Persona 5 packs. What did I just open? Did I just open a Platinum pack? Oh, well. Oops. Open something. I think that's 4437 looks unfamiliar. I think 4347 is better. I think that is a case where the wheel is weaker than the spear. We see it again. I must have opened a plat by mistake. Just autopiloting. I think we'll end on a plat. 2886. Okay. And 1588. 2886 is usually on level 8, so 9s are available. But sometimes you get rule sets on level 8 where 9s are banned, and suddenly these 886s just run rampant. Very powerful effect. Because the 8s can now take other 8s. And nothing can be higher than an 8. Ooh, a new 8765. Yeah, those are always fun to play with. We also haven't seen 874A before, nor 5782. This was a relatively unique pack for us. A874s are good cards. Not super powerful, but good. One of my favorite hands runs 87A4 and A487. It's one of the rare cards where I don't like. My favorite version of it is not the wheel or the spear, but the horizontal vertical type. Galoof X Death is the classic combo, though I ran the up down version. And I think the reason it's best is because cards where the opposite, where numbers opposite each other's make a perfect plus wall, meaning a plus wall that acts like a same wall. So 6-2 plus walls an opposing 6, but it doesn't overpower it in either direction. 7-4 plus walls a 7, and 8-6 plus walls an 8. But these are the only plus, and 10-10 plus walls a 10, but I guess that's the same wall. But these are the only ones you can do that don't have an overpowering in either direction, and that's a pretty powerful effect. And cards that have that effect, a 6-2, a 7-4, or an 8-6, often like those numbers being opposite rather than next to each other. So, for instance, 7-7-A4 is actually more popular than 4-7-A7, and that's because it's a lot more useful having the 4 opposite a 7 than opposite the A. And you see similar things with all kinds of versions of that. Like 8-7-6-4s are a card where the wheel is generally considered like 8-7-6-4 is better than the spear 8-7-4-6 because it's useful to have the 7 and 4 opposite each other. And so my favorite version of A8-7-4s is actually the A7-8-4 iteration. Not super important, but maybe interesting. Oops, I just opened another platinum. Hello to Kate Sith. Don't think there's anything we haven't seen there. Maybe the 2223? Ah, another 4-5-6-7, 7-6-5-4 type. And another, and a 7-7 horizontal vertical. Yeah. Level 5s are always going to be very similar to other level 5s just because there aren't that many options out there. So anytime you see a level 5 and go, that's pretty similar to something before, like it has to be. There's just not that many options. 7866 we haven't commented on. Neither have we commented on 9846. That must be a level 9. Almost a level 10, because 9865 is a level 10, or 9856 is level 10. But I think that must be a level 9. If we added up the total value, it's 27, 9846, so that could be 9 or 10. I don't know. If you can read the boundaries properly, you can tell what's a level 9 or 10. Because as we can see here, did I just open another platinum? I did. As you can see here, the level 10s have a little like claw in the corner, and the level 9s have just the flat edge in the top right corner. 5166. 5156s play so well on level 3. Like, obviously 6632s and 1754s kind of push them out of the meta, but they're good. 5251 I think we haven't seen. I always take longer to reframe myself around low-level cards and how powerful they are, so it's hard for me to think of how good it is without seeing other cards on the level right next to it. So I have minimal commentary on those. Yeah, I think we're mostly seeing repeats at this point. 8681. This was the card that crashed the bot earlier. Yeah, this was it was playing someone, and it just went completely haywire. And it was making bad moves, and then as soon as this landed on the board, it started crashing. Because what was happening was it was making moves, not seeing this was in the other person's hand because it couldn't read the thing. So it was like playing the game as if it could only see 4 cards in the opposing player's hand, which is, of course, going to lead to silly play, obviously. And then when it did have the card played on the board, it was like, why is this square blocked by something that I can't interpret? And started just crashing. That was 8681's fault, my official new least favorite card. Though any card would have happened, that was the one it did happen with. 3375, I think, is new to us. Six five eight six and 6853. I think we've seen neither before. Maybe we haven't seen 3949 before. How many cards do you think we've gotten from Eiyuden Chronicles? So there's 110 cards total. We've opened a lot of packs. I'm gonna guess we have 65 cards. You want the over or the under? If you get right, you win. EC 91. Okay, well my over under was terrible. That should have been much higher. Alright, that's probably a good time to stop buying these. So let's buy one more and then one platinum to finish us off for the day. 6488 I think is new. Cool. And for our platinum, let's just bink a rare. We did not bink a rare. Alright, what a horrible video. See you next time.